Hey team, it's Ray Campbell, Fairway Independent Mortgage. It is Monday, August 7th. I hope you all enjoyed your weekend and had a very productive weekend. Lots of conversations with new buyers and clients, and things are moving forward. It looks like weekends are getting a little bit busier. We're starting to see some more activity come through on Mondays when y'all have been working your butts off all weekend, Friday through Sunday to get people in, do open houses, all of that. So it's starting to pick up a little bit. It looks like some more activity on our side as far as non-builder transactions are going. So that's a good sign. We've got a lot going on this week. Last week was one heck of a roller coaster. It was all over the place. Hard to really say what was going to happen and when it was going to happen. Not to mention that a lot of the things that did happen didn't really make sense. Again, and even more people coming out and saying, "Hey, this doesn't really make a whole lot of sense." But when you break it down, when things don't make sense, typically that's where traders start to pull out and start to pocket some money and aren't really sure where things are going to go. The data that they rely on normally isn't kind of giving them the direction that they normally would have, and so they take a cautious stance and pull out a little bit. You get some big moves after that happens with illiquidity in the market. So it's a long explanation of supply and demand, but basically when certain amounts of people pull out, you have less volume, and then that means that the price can fluctuate significantly more. So if you have 10 buyers to choose from when you're selling something, the price may not fluctuate as much. They can sell some here, there, or there. You have 3, 4, 10 options, whatever it is. But if you only have 2 options, and one person's willing to pay one price, and then one person's willing to pay another price, but neither of them are willing to buy the whole thing, then you have a big fluctuation in price. So that's kind of what we've been seeing, and things move around quite a bit. But last week was not so much. It was the jobs numbers, but it was more fear of what's to come and uncertainty, and that's what caused everything to kind of tank towards the whole week. And then of course Friday, when the numbers came in that said all of that information was not necessarily accurate again, then we had a huge rally, and we're starting to see kind of that pattern. The one number that's been setting everything off, the ADP numbers, have been way off. 497,000. Then it was like 300 and drawing a blank now, 380, something like that. It was in the high 300s when the expectation was actually for in the 200s for jobs. And then when the actual numbers come out, like the payroll numbers come out, they were below expectation at 197. So those are the things that are kind of happening. I think markets kind of get an idea that some of these numbers aren't really matching up. Wherever they're pulling them from, they could just be, not that they're completely wrong or falsified or anything like that. It's just, they might be pulling from one area versus another, and they're just not matching up. So we did have interest rates jump up significantly last week to only be flat on the week by the end of the week. And then today's kind of following through a little bit. We are down a little bit in bonds, but we do have a big week for what we're going to be seeing. So the big focus right now is going to be the Treasury auctions this week. We mentioned that the Treasury added some additional supply on their rollout last week, and that kind of started the trickle effects of what we saw happen in the bond market last week. So an extra 103 billion in Treasuries to be sold. So we have auctions this week for the Treasuries, and then we also have a 30-year bond auction this week, as well as the biggest single thing that everybody seems to be looking at is the CPI report. So that did show a trend down from the expectation of what we were going to see in June. The Fed, of course, has been kind of waving that off, saying, well, one report doesn't mean that the market is turned, so we need to see more. So ideally, Thursday morning, we're going to see lower inflation numbers, and we'll have to hope that they look at the core inflation, which is what they're supposed to be looking at, because we did have a decrease in supply in oil, which then causes gas prices to go up. I'm sure you've noticed that all of a sudden we're getting back to mid threes to highs on the per gallon of gas, So that is inflationary. However, they strip those out. Food and energy are very volatile and they move, so they strip those out. And the core inflation number, which is what we want to see come down, is expected to be at 0.2% month over month. And then, of course, that's averaged out for the year. But Ideally, that's what we see or less. That's what we got in June. Hopefully that's what we get here on Thursday. And if we do, we could see more and even an increase in how fast interest rates get better from here. But we'll have to see what's going to come out. That's going to be Thursday. So just keep your eye out for this. If I need to send out an update on Thursday, I'll let you know. I'll send that out. But that's what we're going to be looking at this week to see if interest rates come down. So, quick recap again, interest rates did go up at the end of the week last week, during the week last week to only come in flat at the end of the week. This week we are starting off essentially flat, a little bit lower, but not really a whole lot. We're not seeing that in the actual interest rates, but we are seeing that there is a good chance that we get better from here. And we'll have to see how the markets react to Treasury auctions as well as the inflation numbers on Thursday. So if there's anything you guys need at any time, you have any clients or you want to have a deeper conversation about what's going on right now, let me know. Or if you need any buyers pre-approved this week, feel free to give us a call. We'd love to talk to you. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.